Hi guys, welcome to Make 2 and this review of the LEGO Detectives Office, the 2015 modular building. This is set number 10246 and it comes with 2,262 pieces, which are really good parts per piece price. This is because it's not connected to a theme like Star Wars, but also because a lot of the pieces are small. Nonetheless, you get this three-story house, or collection of buildings, so it does make great value for a lot of the standard bricks and really good colours and useful elements that it contains. This set follows a growing theme over the last few modular buildings. It started really, I think, with the pet shop, which had a little bit of a story with the house on one side of it being somebody moving in. The year after that you had the Palace Cinema, and there was a little story about it being the premiere to a movie. Last year's Parisian Restaurant also had a bit of a theme of a couple getting married in the restaurant and artists upstairs. This one gives you story in spades. I'll have a particular section of this video where I'll show you sort of how the story works, but suffice it to say, this building is set during the 1920s, and for me, very reminiscent of Philip Marlowe's Los Angeles, with a private detective trying to solve a crime. In this case, during Prohibition, where not alcohol, but cookies and sugar are illegal, how will he solve the crime of who is providing the cookies and cupcakes? Now, for me, this building really evokes the sense of place and period with a wonderful array of bricks, yes, but also with the different buildings. You've got three different buildings here. On the left, you have this dark nougat pool hall underneath the detective office. Then in the middle, you have this brown building, which is kind of stuck there, maybe sort of reminiscent of a building that used to be there and got half knocked down, but people have just built upon. And on the right, you have these lovely blues of the barbershop and sort of public areas and a kitchen above. And so you get this real sense of evolution over time, of this being part of a big higgledy-piggledy street somewhere in some downtown city. I think, Los Angeles, just because I'm a fan of Raymond Chandler. So this is the front. I'm going to show you the sides and then show you each of the floors. Nothing special going on the side of the building. The only thing to note is a few different coloured bricks that don't fit in with the overall pattern. I know LEGO has to do this because, well, partly for the interiors, to match the colours of the interiors, but more importantly, to match the fittings of the interiors. And they don't have, say, these black tiles and this nice dark blue, so they have to compromise somehow, but compromises have to be made for the price. The back is pretty simple, as you'd expect really for a thing of this period, but I do like how they've got offset windows and these kind of bars, a little bit of detailing of this roof kind of encroaching over the roof of this alleyway building. And the side also, nothing much to speak of. Again, these black and grey do, I think, ruin the vista of the side, but overall, it doesn't disrupt it too much. You can kind of think it's part of the building itself. I think probably this piece here bothers me the most. They could have gone with some standard dark nougat, but they didn't. So here we are with the first floor, which shows us on our left the pool hall, which is called the Highlander, a very grand name. And on the right, Al's barbershop and this cool alleyway going down the middle. A few things just to point out on the front. As we go left to right, first of all, these really beautiful domes, these kind of quarter spheres in dark green with a wonderful touch underneath of gold, a gold circular plate. It's really nice and fit perfectly over these printed windows. There's no stickers at all in this set, just everything's printed, which is really nice. Down here you have an old-fashioned newspaper stand. Open it down and look inside. There's two papers for somebody to take. We still have these where I live. I don't know about where you live, but we still have these. They're now coin operated, I guess, and soon they'll be smartphone operated, but that's a nice feature just to highlight the front of the building. Nice plant here, and if you can see, it's got two tones of green for the leaves, which is a good touch. Now, I really like this little pot, like an upside down cone piece of some sort. Then we've got, of course, ubiquitous lampposts that we have on all these. If you can see here, these are translucent reddish orange tiles set back behind this arch piece. You've got archway, archway, archway. This one recessed. Here's a grill for the air conditioning or something. I think it's really nice. It looks like kind of a stained glass window. It just gives a little bit more pip to the front of this store. Final thing, you see these? These little ball and socket joints that I get with all my Mixel sets, and these are just Technic axle joiner pieces but in dark brown. Just gives that column feel to the front, which is really, really nice. The alleyway, not much to speak of there. Al's here. Silver scissors, these are apparently a new type of scissors. If I get this out of the way, just to be really clear, you can see this is the ubiquitous, the world over sign for the barber. Up here, Al's is written all in bricks and plates, really cleverly done. It's a similar process to the one they did on the pet shop, connecting plates one way with clip pieces to bars behind, some bits of bricks, some bits this way, some bits that way. Just really helps you get a sense of how, each 5 plates high is equivalent to 2 bricks wide. And this makes perfect use of that in a way that I will try and copy, but it's remarkably hard to do unless you have exactly the right pieces and have a bigger brain than me. Here we are in the pool hall, and the star of the show is, of course, the pool table. Let's take this fan out of the way, and here you can see it. There's a player down there with a golden cue. It's got a few different balls on the table. This is really nicely built. They actually built some bits from the floor, then you build it up in stages, and finally you put the top on it. Really cleverly done. And around it's got this really nice blue carpet. So in some ways, just normalish pieces, but just done in a really effective way. Looking at the fan, which spins around very easily on this light Technic pin, it's made of 4 twins of Lego snowshoes done in brown, and if you pair them together, it just forms a perfect little peg-sized hole, which just fits into this brick with studs on all sides with those little peg holes in them. That's really nice. Over here we have another minifigure, and you can't quite see it, but he's playing darts, and against this wall is a darts table. And then here is a trophy. Let's see if we can get a better look at that. Here's the trophy, and then you can see in the corner here just a little table with a cup on it. Then finally, from a slightly different view, you can see the pool cues on the table. This is a cue extent done really well. This is Al's barbershop. This is my favourite room, I think, and I think just because it's in a pretty small space, but they've packed quite a lot in. Key thing is obviously you have this nice barber's chair, and there's a policewoman getting a haircut by the barber over here holding his scissors. You can just about see in the window they've got 2 example hairstyles that you can switch out for your minifigures, so they can come in with one set of hair and leave with a different set of hair. Down here you have a sink and a broom. Here you can see the barber's mirror just beneath these lights. Look how reflective it is, absolutely perfect. This is just a big panel piece held in place by various clips and special types of plate. This is a little cupboard with nothing inside it. Now let's talk about the key story elements of this set. As we know, it's set during Prohibition times, and our first clue is that somebody has left their hat there. The suspect is trying to change their identity, hide their identity, and has taken off their cap. The second thing we see at the back, more interestingly really, is this gate, this bar thing with a branch, and actually it swivels outwards. And inside you can see there's a small hole. If we go back up, take a look into the barber shop, that cupboard actually opens. If you come back down, you can see there's a hole all the way inside. So the secret candy would come in from here, and then see underneath these stairs. Now with that open, there's another hole, but this time round the back, straight underneath the alleyway. Off pops the top of the alleyway so you can get a better view of the barrel. This is what's being smuggled through this hole, through the barber shop, and then out into the alleyway. Where does it go next? Well, of course, it goes into the pool hall. Down beneath the trophy case is another secret passage, and from here you can send the barrel. Just squeezes through. Last question is, what's in the barrel? Let's take a quick look. Spill out the contents, and here you have 3 little cookies. Next up is the second floor, just showing it to you by itself. The window opens, this pool sign, which is the same on both sides. I'm just going to be brave, and show you how this is made. If you can see, they're just made up of tiles of different shapes, and I haven't got any other of these round tiles with a hole in. And you probably can't quite see, but this whole thing is just attached together with a couple of plates here, little plates with clips on that are sort of the same on each side, so you can attach plates in opposite directions really easily, and that's just a single clip, goes straight on. That's really nicely done. In the middle, I like how they are trying to put flowers to make this fire escape look nice. There's just one little feature here. I know this looks very, very overblown. I just wanted to show you this bit here, which is a fire escape. You can see there's a little hook there, and if I lift it up, it drops down, so that this is the second floor, remember, so it gives you stairs down to the first floor. I think that's a really nice, cute touch. You can see there's not much place to stand there, but you can go out of this window if you need to get onto the fire escape. These here are painter's brushes done in black. I don't think they need to do it. It gives a nice little design. They're actually quite flimsy, so you've got to be careful when you use those. It's a good technique. Nice to have lights done in different ways. Even if I don't think it's strictly necessary, it doesn't add tons, but it does just add, a little bit of difference compared to previous sets we've seen. Here we are in the real heart of the building. This is Ace Brickman's detective office on the second floor on the left-hand side. I think this evokes the period incredibly well. I really like all the touches they've done in here. So you've got Ace Brickman over here holding a magnifying glass, and on his desk you can see some newspapers, a map, some letters, and this really wonderful lamp. I'll show you that from a different angle, but I don't know, it just really feels very 1920s to me. At the top here you have a working fan, and you have these chest of drawers in which there is a letter in one and a letter down at the bottom as well. The client of Ace Brickman is the lady in red, the mysterious lady in red with really nice hair. On this side you can see a hat, Ace Brickman's hat, on this nice little hat stand. I think that's really nice. It's a good door. I don't have many of this style of door with the 3 different glass panels already built in. That's pretty cool. Down here you can see there is a suitcase with some money that's spilled out onto the floor. It's a bit strange up here, just a pillar of bricks to nothing, but actually I think that's probably quite common in buildings like this. It's possibly there also to support the pool sign outside. Here we have the lamp again. Rotates up, simple piece. They've got a black skeleton leg. I think that's really lovely. A couple more things to show here on this wall. First of all, a wanted poster for a person with a cap. Hint, that ties up to what we looked at down below in the trash can. On the other side, you have a picture frame with a light over it, but this has a secret. If you rotate it, it reveals a hidden safe inside the wall, and inside there is a letter carefully placed by the detective with maybe some special clues or some special information in it. That's really cool. We've already talked about the fire escape. This is just a little corridor, a nice plant there going into the detective office, and you access that by coming up the stairs and just going along the corridor. There's not much on the rest of the second floor apart from this brick-built restroom. There's a door which opens up. Of course, you need access. There is a tiny sink, and then there's this really nice brick-built toilet itself. High on the wall cistern, typical of the period. A little flush. The drain pipe going down, the pipe going down to the actual toilet itself. And down in the corner, there's, yes, a roll of toilet paper, really cleverly done. From the outside, the top floor obviously has this split roof. There's only 2 stories on the side of the pool hall and the detective office, and 3 stories on here. And with very different roofs, again, the roofs have been done similar for the brown building and the blue building, very differently over here. And this is a real highlight for me of the set. So I'll just give you a couple of cool things about this. You can probably see down here this really nice patterning. Those are Bionicle or Hero Factory fists. And now with that removed, you can see much more clearly how it's made. Just each fist is threaded through with different Technic axles and just angles. You can't turn them because obviously the axles are fixed, and there are axle holes at each end which secure the whole lot. And then you just cover it up. On the other side of the roof, you have here 4 really lovely curved pieces. These are actually Unikitty tails. You can see by the side how they're attached. They're actually attached upside down. This cheese slope is keeping it in place so it can't come out, but stays in there really nicely. And this is another piece I have managed to get in a new colour, and this is going to be super useful and pretty. You can see they've actually got detail all over the place here. Upside down sloped curved pieces, these ridge pieces, cheese slopes. This part has a much more simple roof, just with using cones and upside down slopes. Finally, on the roof, there's a lot up here. You can see a skylight, which you can look down into the detective office. And here, this water tower, obvious thing. Look how circular it is. What's going on? Well, let's take a look. So here's a couple of pieces taken off. And if I turn it up for you, you can see in there is just an axle piece attached down to the bottom, and all the way around is some tank tracks, some caterpillar tracks, and you just attach these pieces to each of the tracks. They fit perfectly. Then you take this dome piece, fit that on top to hide the mechanism. Inside, we have a secret, semi-secret kitchen. It should be secret because they're doing something very naughty. This is where they're cooking cookies. That cat is eyeing those on the table very jealously. Now we've got just a little oven and a nicely done rolling pin and a nicely brick-built chest of drawers over there, a mixing bowl in the centre, a storage over here in the corridor, which takes us through to a door to the outside where people can look down and see what Ace Brickman is up to. So pretty simple, not much space, but they've utilised it well and importantly added to the story. So that's it for this review of the LEGO Detective Office. I loved building it, loved playing with it, and I've really enjoyed showing it off to you today. I don't know whether to take it apart for parts, keep it as it is, or take it apart and build it again. It's just so much fun. I'd love to know what you think, so please let me know in the comments. And if you've enjoyed this, please like the video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to stay up to date with the latest LEGO reviews that Make2 puts out, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.